for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose. But when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface. And I could walk for days, searching for your praise. But is it even there to find?
The sage wandered across many lands, through fields kissed by the sun and forests, where the air was thick with the scent of pine and earth. He followed winding rivers and climbed mountains, where the wind carried the voices of the past. One day, his journey led him to a barren land, where the earth was cracked and dry, the air heavy with silence. At the heart of this desolate place stood a village, its buildings weathered by time. The people moved slowly, their eyes dull, their lips cracked with thirst. Yet, despite the dryness of the land, the sage noticed something peculiar. In the very center of the village stood a well, its stones old but unbroken, its mouth covered in dust. Curious, the sage approached an old man sitting nearby. "Tell me," the sage asked, "why do your people suffer from thirst when there is a well at your center?" The old man sighed, his voice brittle like dried leaves. "Long ago, this well provided for us. The water was sweet and plentiful, nourishing our people and our land. But one day, a great drought came, and the well's water grew harder to draw. People lowered their buckets and returned with less each time. Fear spread through the village. Some said that if we took too much, the well would dry completely. Others believed it had already failed us. So, little by little, we stopped lowering our buckets at all." The sage nodded, stepping toward the well. "And has anyone checked to see if the water remains?" A young girl, overhearing, stepped forward. "No," she admitted. "We have been told that if we try, we might find nothing." That evening, as the villagers gathered, the sage stood before them and spoke. "You fear that the well has run dry," he said. "But tell me, does water vanish simply because we stop reaching for it?" A boy, no older than 10, whispered, "But what if we lower the bucket and find only dust?" The sage smiled and took a rope, tying it to a bucket. Slowly, he let it descend, the rope stretching deeper and deeper into the darkness below. The villagers held their breath, their hearts heavy with the expectation of emptiness. Then a splash! Gasps rippled through the crowd as the sage pulled the bucket back up. When it emerged, it was full, glistening with water as clear as the sky. The sage dipped his hand into it and let the droplets fall back into the well, as if returning a forgotten truth. The young girl ran forward, touching the bucket. "The water was here all along?" The sage nodded. "Yes. You assumed it was gone because it did not come easily. But just because something does not give freely does not mean it has nothing left to offer." The elder wiped his eyes. "We thought the well had abandoned us, but we see now that we were the ones who abandoned it." The sage's voice was calm, yet firm. "So it is with many things in life, love, wisdom, purpose. We seek them when they come easily, but when they ask us to dig deeper, we assume they are lost. But they are only waiting for those willing to reach for them." One by one, the villagers came forward, lowering their buckets, drawing forth water they had long believed lost. Their hands trembled with the realization that what they needed had never left them. It had only been waiting for them to remember. As the sage departed, he looked back and saw not just a village, but a people restored, no longer turning away from the well, but drawing from it with gratitude. And now, traveler, I ask you, what well in your life have you stopped drawing from, not because it is empty, but because you stopped believing it was still full?
Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose, but when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface. And I could walk for days, searching for your praise, but is it even there to find?